Buckle up, America. The dream ride is getting bumpy. Imagine the open road, the wind in your hair, the freedom to go anywhere, anytime. This is the American dream, fueled by the growl of an engine and the smell of fresh asphalt. For generations, owning a car has been more than just a symbol of status. It's been a ticket to opportunity, a passport to independence. But today, that dream is starting to sputter. Soaring prices, coupled with sky-high insurance and repair costs, are putting the brakes on affordability. What was once a rite of passage for young adults is fast becoming a luxury many can't afford. The road to success, it seems, is paved with financial potholes, leaving many Americans stranded on the side of economic hardship. The car, once a symbol of freedom and possibility, is now a source of anxiety and stress for millions. It's time to have a serious conversation about the car crisis and its impact on the American dream. Sticker shock. Why are cars costing an arm and a leg? The price tags on new cars are enough to give anyone whiplash. The average cost of a new vehicle has soared in recent years, leaving many Americans bewildered and frustrated. But what's driving this surge in prices? The answer, like most things in life, is complicated. One major culprit is the increase in manufacturing costs. Raw materials like steel and aluminum have seen their prices jump significantly. Add to that the global chip shortage, which has thrown a wrench into the auto industry's production plans, and you have a recipe for price hikes. Car makers are increasingly focusing on high-end models, packed with the latest technology and luxury features. These bells and whistles come at a cost, and that cost is passed on to the consumer. While these high-tech vehicles may appeal to a certain segment of the market, they push the dream of car ownership further out of reach for many ordinary Americans. And let's not forget about the elephant in the room: car insurance. Premiums have been steadily climbing, adding another layer of financial burden to car ownership. High-tech havoc. The price of progress. We live in an age of technological marvels, and the automotive industry is no exception. Cars are no longer just modes of transportation. They're rolling computers, packed with sophisticated software, sensors, and safety features. These advancements are undoubtedly impressive, but they come at a cost. Consider the rise of electric vehicles, EVs. While EVs offer environmental benefits, they also come with hefty price tags. The batteries alone, a crucial component of EVs, are incredibly expensive to produce. Repairs are also becoming increasingly costly. Today's cars require specialized tools, software, and expertise to diagnose and fix problems. The pursuit of innovation is driving up prices, making cars less accessible to the average American. It begs the question, is the price of progress worth it if it means leaving a significant portion of the population behind? Insurance inflation, adding fuel to the fire. As if soaring car prices weren't enough, car insurance adds another layer of financial strain to the already burdened American driver. Premiums have been steadily climbing, turning what was once a necessary expense into a significant drain on household budgets. One major factor is the increasing cost of repairs. As cars become more technologically advanced, the price of fixing them rises accordingly. From sophisticated sensors to complex electronic systems, even minor accidents can result in hefty repair bills. Insurance companies, in turn, pass on these increased costs to consumers in the form of higher premiums. Furthermore, the rise in distracted driving, fueled by the ubiquitous smartphone, has contributed to an increase in accident rates. More accidents on the road mean more insurance claims, and those claims inevitably lead to higher premiums for everyone. The wrenching reality: repair costs drive the dream further away. Owning a car has always come with its share of maintenance and repairs, but in recent years, the cost of keeping a vehicle running has skyrocketed. What was once a manageable expense has become a significant financial burden for many Americans, pushing the dream of car ownership further out of reach. One major factor is the increasing complexity of vehicles. Cars are no longer simple machines with easily replaceable parts. This complexity requires specialized tools, training, and expertise to diagnose and repair problems. As a result, labor costs have risen significantly, adding to the overall expense of car repairs. Furthermore, the use of lighter, more advanced materials in car manufacturing, while beneficial for fuel efficiency, has also led to higher repair costs. A minor fender bender that once required a simple dent repair can now involve costly replacements and labor-intensive procedures. The millennial misfire, a generation priced out of car ownership. The American dream has always included the image of a young person, fresh out of school or starting a new job, getting behind the wheel of their first car. But for many millennials, this dream is fading into the rearview mirror. Saddled with student loan debt, stagnant wages, and a volatile job market, millennials are finding it increasingly difficult to afford the rising costs of car ownership. Many millennials entered the workforce during or after the 2008 recession, facing a job market with limited opportunities and stagnant wages. This economic instability has made it challenging to save for a down payment on a car, let alone cover the ongoing expenses of insurance, gas, and maintenance. The financial squeeze is real, and it's forcing many millennials to delay or forgo car ownership altogether. This trend has significant implications for the auto industry and the American economy as a whole. Rural realities. When car dependence meets car unaffordability, the allure of the open road, the freedom to go anywhere, anytime. These are ideals deeply ingrained in the American psyche. But for many Americans living in rural communities, the reality of car ownership is far less romantic. In these areas where public transportation is often limited or non-existent, a car isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And the rising cost of car ownership is hitting rural communities particularly hard. For rural residents, a car is more than just a mode of transportation. It's a lifeline. Without a reliable vehicle, daily life becomes a logistical nightmare. The rising cost of car ownership, from the initial purchase price to insurance, gas, and repairs, places a significant financial burden on rural households. Many rural residents work in industries with lower wages compared to urban areas, making it even more challenging to afford the ever-increasing expenses associated with owning a car. Public transportation, a road less traveled, but can it fill the gap? As the cost of car ownership skyrockets, many Americans are looking for alternative ways to get around. Public transportation, often overlooked or dismissed in the land of the automobile, is emerging as a potential solution. In many urban areas, public transportation systems offer a viable alternative to car ownership. Subways, buses, and light rail systems provide relatively affordable and convenient ways to navigate the city. For those living and working within well-connected transit corridors, public transportation can be a cost-effective and efficient way to get around, eliminating the need for car payments, insurance, gas, and parking. However, the reality is that public transportation in the United States is often inadequate, particularly outside of major metropolitan areas. Many cities and towns lack comprehensive public transportation systems, leaving residents with limited or no alternatives to driving. This is especially true in suburban and rural communities, where sprawling development patterns and long distances make public transportation impractical or unavailable. The environmental exhaust affordability crisis meets climate crisis. The roar of engines, the smell of gasoline, the freedom of the open road, these are all part of the allure of the American car culture. But this love affair with the automobile has come at a cost, and not just a financial one. The environmental impact of our car-centric society is undeniable. The transportation sector is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, which are driving climate change. Cars and trucks release significant amounts of carbon dioxide and other pollutants into the atmosphere, contributing to rising global temperatures, extreme weather events, and air pollution. The environmental toll is heavy, and the need to transition to cleaner, more sustainable transportation options is more urgent than ever. Ironically, the car affordability crisis presents both a challenge and an opportunity in the fight against climate change. The American dream at a crossroads, rethinking mobility in the 21st century. The American dream, that cherished ideal of upward mobility and a better life, has long been intertwined with the automobile. The car has represented freedom, independence, and the ability to pursue opportunity. But as the cost of car ownership soars, we're forced to confront a fundamental question. What happens to the American dream when the car, once a symbol of aspiration, becomes a source of financial strain and anxiety? The current car crisis is more than just a transportation issue. It's a societal issue. It reflects broader economic trends such as income inequality, stagnant wages, and the rising cost of living. The time has come to rethink our relationship with the automobile and explore new models of mobility that are more equitable, sustainable, and accessible. This requires a fundamental shift in thinking, from viewing the car as a necessity to considering it as one option among many in a diverse transportation ecosystem. Shifting gears. Is there a way to salvage the dream? The American dream of car ownership is facing a perfect storm of challenges. Soaring prices driven by supply chain disruptions, increased manufacturing costs, and a focus on high-end models have made new cars unattainable for many. Add to that the rising costs of insurance, gas, and repairs, and the dream seems to be slipping further out of reach for millions of Americans. But is there a way to salvage this integral part of the American story? The answer lies in a multifaceted approach, requiring collaboration between policymakers, automakers, and consumers. Addressing the supply chain bottlenecks and promoting competition within the auto industry can help stabilize prices. Incentives for purchasing fuel-efficient vehicles, including EVs, can ease the burden at the pump and promote a shift towards more sustainable transportation. Expanding access to affordable and reliable public transportation is crucial, particularly in urban and suburban areas. This requires significant investment in infrastructure, service expansion, and fare subsidies to make public transit a viable alternative to car ownership.